The problems of today are large and obvious. The most difficult problems are those that are global in scale, like COVID-19 or climate change. And they will require global solutions. But we should not despair, because the greater the problems, the greater the opportunities it will have from them. I believe that problems push progress. We quickly forget how unconnected the entire world was only 5,000 days ago, before we had mobile phones and social media for everyone. Now it seems obvious and inevitable. Well, I believe that in the next 5,000 days, we will also meet our greatest problems, but also the greatest amount of opportunities that the world has ever seen. Hi, I'm Kevin Kelly, and I'm so delighted to be joining you virtually. You know, so much has happened in the last 15 years. It's only been 5,000 days since mobile phones and social media has taken over the world. I want to join you in trying to imagining what will happen in the next 5,000 days, which is about 15 years, so it's about the year 2035. What do you think will happen? I believe that we're headed towards a better boom, a boom time of innovation and opportunity and prosperity that we've never seen before. And I want to tell you about some of those trends going through there. The first one is globalism. No matter what happens between the US and China over the next 15 years, we will be headed towards one global economy. We have one global culture, one global technological machine. All the students of the world are going to be studying the same subjects. These are the subjects that everybody studies. It's one culture right now. That means that everybody in the world can participate, and I think that Asia and Africa will become increasingly the center of cultural innovation. The people will look to this area for the best new things in the world in the next 15 years. And everybody around the world will be using the tools of remote working to work, even if they're working in the same building. Even if they're next to each other, they'll still be using the tools of remote work, and as well as the people who are working remotely around the world. So we'll have Zoom rooms, we'll have video walls, we'll have teleconferencing of all sorts. The second trend is that we are increasingly a cityfied species, that we have urbanity, that we will be living in cities. 90% of us will be living in some metropolitan area. And that means that we have these huge markets within easy reach. Most people will be living within 10 kilometers of a hospital. They'll have access to bandwidth. And this, by the way, this style of living in cities is actually the greenest way to do it in terms of the impact on the planet. I think in 15 years, 50% of the people around the globe will have access to 5G. This is huge. And all this kind of access and bandwidth and density means that everything is available within reach upon asking, so that access to things becomes more important than ownership, because you could just reach for them, call them, have them delivered in a few hours. That is very, very, very powerful. The third, I think, trend is going to be green energy. 35% of many countries' energies will come from renewables. I think that 50% of most of the new vehicles sold will be electric around the world, and that includes some planes, electric planes, very powerful. Your car becomes basically a computer with wheels, and there will be, I predict, more bandwidth to your car than to your home. Because what are we doing inside the car that drives itself? We'll be on our phones. We'll be with the smart glasses doing VR or AR. We'll be working. We'll be playing. These will become media centers. The fourth trend is that we are going to become a planetary matrix, a planetary superorganism, where we will be developing in the next 15 years tools of collaboration that will allow us to collaborate at a scale we've never done before, with hundreds of thousands of people working together in real time. Okay, doing projects that require that many people and that many skills, but doing it around the globe in real time with collaboration tools that we have yet to invent. Part of those inventions will be the mirror world, which means that we are going to scan all the physical things in our environment and put them with a digital twin, connect them together into a alternative mirror world of the real world that we can access with smart glasses. And smart glasses are the next big consumer item after smartphones. With these glasses, you can see through, you can see the real world, but you can also see a layer of this virtual world mixed together, and you will be able to see things like a whale breaching inside a gymnasium or other things. And so when we scan everything to put them into this mirror world, we're actually making them machine readable. So we can search the entire world, not just search the world of information like we can right now with Baidu and Google, but search the actual physical world. We can annotate it. We can manipulate it. We can hyperlink it. We can do all the things that we did with information. Now we're going to be able to do with the real world. And that's very, very powerful. That's beginning in the next 15 years. Included in that is our own avatars, our own human bodies and teleconferencing. And most of the time that we'll spend in the mirror world, we'll spend it socially with other people. And so I think this mirror world will become the most social of all the social media. Ubiquitous AI is another long-term trend. AI has been around, become cheap and ubiquitous and powerful. One of the first things I think, imagine in the next 15 years is that we have translation pods in our ears that will allow us to do real-time translation wherever we are. You have them, you're wearing them, you can hear me, you hear Chinese, I would hear you speak English in real time, all other languages, and that liberates millions and millions of people who have tremendous skill, except for the skill of language, allow them to participate in the world global economy wherever they live. It's not just voice, we also have gestures that will pick up with the AIs. And just as women moving into the workforce was hugely transformative in the past, the next big thing is AIs moving into the workforce in a way that is going to be transformative. We have precision agriculture from lettuce bots in which they can remember the health of every single little individual plant in a whole farm. We'll have robo-investors, we'll have robo-doctors, robo-lawyers, robo-brokers, robo-designers. All of these are AIs that not stand alone. They're actually working with humans together, what we call centaurs, as a team. And these teams of human plus AIs are the real future in the next 15 years. Accelerated innovation is another trend where it's not just teachers who are teaching and experts, it's anybody who's learned anything at all is sharing that immediately, and that is accelerating the pace of learning. We have even brain surgeons learning new brain surgery techniques by watching YouTube. That's what we're talking about. And of course, mixed reality, MR, will facilitate people doing training and learning by mirroring what they see, even puppeting in them in some cases. It's a very, very powerful way of increasing learning. I think your job in 2 years, let alone 15 years, is going to be a job that hasn't been invented yet. So biotech is another long-term trend. We have the quantified self, where we're trying to measure our own activities in order to make better medicines. We also have now cheap green meat, plant-based meat that tastes very, very good, but next step in the 15 years is going to be animal cell-based meat that will be even better than meat. It'll taste just as good, if not better, because it can be engineered, maybe hybrids, maybe in some ways better nutrition, to actually taste better than the meat today. Neural links are a way to read into the brain using light, where we can actually see how the brain uses the brain to control computers or other things. That's very, very powerful. It'll just be in the prototype age in 15 years, but we'll get to see how it's going to work. The next economy is really where we're going. There's going to be cheap money everywhere, super capital. I think there's going to be two cryptocurrencies, a China-based one and a US-based one. All this is part of fintech, which means an example of fintech would be a way to do real-time transactions, settlements in large scale in a company. That would be really cool to have. I think we'll have that in 15 years. Of course, there'll be blockchains and nifties, smart contracts. But the major shift beginning in 15 years is to move away from trying to grow the economy just in size and try to grow it in terms of making it more mature, more complex, without necessarily getting fatter. New play. Finally, there's huge opportunities in what we're going to see, how we spend our free time, our playtime. I think that esports in the 15 years will become the largest entertainment industry on the planet, far out bigger than movies, anything else. And so these are going to involve, I think, even watching robots do things. Either robots fight each other, or robots compete with each other like Robot Olympics, or even dancing, watching robots dance. I think that's another part of the entertainment complex. And then we have VTubers, synthetic characters that we interact with in real time, they'll have characters as powerful as anything we see in movies, maybe even more powerful. All these things are not without problems. Every single one of these will have new problems. My vision is a vision of protopia. Okay? It's not utopia where there are no problems. It's not dystopia where everything is going to crash and there's Terminators and the AIs are going to kill us. No, this is protopia where there is progress. In English, we say proceed. There's pro as affirmative. There's prototype, early. All these things are works in progress. They're not perfect. They're just a little bit better than last year. Okay? So if we can improve the world by 1% and have that compounded every year, that's what we're talking about. There will be problems. There will be new problems. These technologies will make whole new problems that we haven't even imagined before, but problems push progress. We're moving forward. And that forward, I think, in the next 15 years is going to be the better boom. It's going to be an era of huge opportunity by the global market, huge opportunity for everybody in the world, particularly Asia and Africa. There's going to be the huge opportunity in green energy, huge opportunities in making new kind of meat and other synthetic foods, a huge opportunity in the mirror world, a whole new platform, a huge opportunity in new ways to play, and a huge opportunity in the new world based around fintech. Many, many thousands, millions of opportunities. I want to remind people that you're not late and that we're going to see in the next 15 years an era of innovation and opportunity like we've never seen before. So thank you.